All right. I think we're live, Sean.
Do you think we're live?
We're-
I can't see the world, so I couldn't tell you.
Oh, well, I don't know about the world, but I see here it says live on my screen as far as the stream. So,
So think they're ready for us, huh? Yeah, I can't tell through Restream here. So I'm going to go to EXP University.
yep, we're live. Randy, the moderator, told us we're live.
Nice. Well, hi, everybody. My name is Sean Murphy. I am the Regional Vice President of Growth for EXP, which is a very busy occupation these days. I am here with Randy Zimnock, who is one of our large organization influencers. He's also local in my area, so I've seen Randy doing real estate for years and years and years, and now I have him here. Randy, tell us a little bit about your journey in real estate.
Yeah. So, our journey. So our journey was kind of not the typical journey of a realtor. I would say we started actually as investors first, real estate investors. AKA flippers, where we've been flipping homes. We like to say redeveloping homes. It's a nicer way of explaining what we do. That's really where it all started for us. But really, from the success of our investing business, is where we little by little started adding agents and launched our little team of agents to help our inventory being sold and save money on commissions. And then next thing you know, we had a full-on brokerage that organically grew kind of from a back doorway, right, from doing investing. So it's kind of interesting. It's a little bit of a different journey than what you probably have seen, Sean, with other big brokerages coming on board. But that's kind of the beginning for us. And honestly, we've been looking, my partner Than and I, we've been looking for a national brokerage for years. It's been now.
Wait, stop, Randy.
Okay.
Curtis is the one talking in the room right now.
Oh,
so we're not there yet. We get to do it all over again. It's a good trail run.
No. We got to keep going, Sean.
Really?
Yeah, they're going to paste the link, so we got to keep going.
Oh, there we go. All right. So continue.
Yeah, so I'm going to continue. I know they're going to paste this and it's going to go. So anyway, so where was I? As far as our organization, really, we also have a large education company called Fortune Builders. So we actually educate people across the country how to actually do rehabs, how to do wholesales, how to do the flipping game, right? And because of that, we knew that there was many of our community members that are investors that are also licensed, just like us in Southern California. And that's a natural path. If you're a successful investor, there's a high probability one of you on your team is going to get licensed. The two just work together very well, right? For an obvious reason.
How many people are in Fortune Builders? Members? And I know you have different levels of membership, but overall.
So I always look at our private Facebook group. That's a good measurement for me. So we have, I think, 33,000 members in there. That means those are our students that actually paid, right?
Fantastic.
To be part of our coaching program.
And what do you think? How many of those would be licensed real estate agents?
Well, now that we've been doing this for a year, we have some stats, and that's an interesting thing. We didn't know from the beginning what that would look like. We assumed that there will be a good percentage that will be licensed, right? And now the stats are in. It looks like about 25% of our students, I would say, are licensed. About 15% are in a process of getting their license. And then another 50% that attend one of our webinars about the EXP opportunity raise their hand and say, hey, you know what? I want to get licensed because I see the value in having a license and be an investor. And I see the value of what EXP is doing, where we can help them create passive income through revenue share. So does that make sense?
Absolutely. That puts you at about 8,250 potential licenses at this time, potential attractees. What type of organization are you looking for outside of Fortune Builders? I mean, what do you really look for in an organization? So obviously somebody with more than 1,000 licenses.
Yeah. Well, now that we kind of established, I feel like we were kind of like the pioneers at EXP testing this large organization model. And honestly, we've been looking for something like this type of a company for years. None of them made sense because there's many great companies out there, many great brokerages, but most of them are franchise owned and operated. So we would have to sign agreements with every one of them, and there was no tracking in place. So what made our decision easy in 2020 to move is because you guys are one company with people in all states with local support. And to me, that is excellent for our type of organization. And in return, to answer your question, I want to help other organizations that have the investor niche, right? What we do. So if you're out there and you have influence, you have a community, right? And you are a leader of your community where you have a relationship with them and you're coaching them how to do investing, just know that a lot of your community members or investors are licensed, and those licenses are hanging somewhere. So why not you start your own internal organization within EXP and actually add additional coaching to them and give them an opportunity to earn some income stream additionally on top of whatever they're doing. So I'm looking for those organizations that don't have to be our size, because we can literally white label it under their brand and not mix our brands together, because I already have everything created, right? We've been at this for a year. So I can literally duplicate everything we've done for them, as long as they have an influential leader and they have a community of investors.
So you have the system, you have the model, you already have the game plan. It obviously works. The Fortune Builders organization inside of EXP's insanely profitable. I'd like to move on. What do you see as the top value proposition that EXP offers to your large organizations? I see that you've already mentioned that our borderless EXP, where you can work nationwide. That has to be a value to you.
Oh, if that wasn't there, to be honest, we wouldn't make the move. And when we were looking for a company like yours, basically like EXP 5 years ago, you guys were not on our radar because you were not in all the major cities yet. You didn't have local support in all the major cities, right? And so now, as we researched you guys, as everyone should, before we made a decision, we realized that you have the infrastructure at a place that supports agents all across the country in all major cities. And that honestly was the number one reason why we moved, because we knew our local brokerage would benefit no matter what from you guys. Like, that was already proven with your model for years, right? With other brokerages moving. But the large organization model, we're kind of, like I said, pioneers and testing this out with you guys. So to me, that was the number one factor, because like, if we're going to recommend an EXP or an agency to our student who trusts us, right, that can backfire very quick. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And so once we realized, okay, and we started testing it and doing a few webinars and connecting our students with the local staff, the local broker, the local admins, the local mentors, right? And realized that it's actually working, we then went all in and promoting this opportunity to our organization because it was proven. And to me, I think that's the biggest value proposition for any large organization, because we care about our students. We have a relationship with them, and we cannot ruin that relationship, right? And that's the number one.
So now I know that large organizations, large teams, they tend to have their own value proposition. As a large organization, what do you and your team offer to this huge network coming in?
Yeah, good question. So yes, I agree. I do believe that every large organization should have a value proposition. So most likely, whatever you're teaching on, like for example, we already were teaching our community how to invest in homes, how to do rehabs, how to do flips and all that. However, we have not really touched upon how to actually do it as a licensed investor. Even though we've been doing it locally in Southern California for, 10 years, right? We actually, outside of Southern California, we never nationally talked about that, right? Because we had no idea how many of our community members, investors are licensed. We had no clue. So we're like, so once we came on board, that's the first thing we focused on. I became the main trainer, and I started creating trainings every single month, and I categorized them in 3 different groups. So I have trainings now, a whole library of trainings for our group that teaches investors how to leverage their license to enhance and accelerate their investing business that they're currently doing. The other category now of trainings is teaching the investors how to leverage the investor activities they do, like, like picking up the phone, doing direct mail, anything they do in their business as investors, their investor network that they've developed. Like, how do we leverage that to generate traditional business? Because those two talk to each other if you know strategically how to apply it, right? And then the last category that we've developed trainings on is teaching agents or introducing the idea for agents that maybe they don't care about flipping, they don't care about rehabbing, but they would love to work potentially with rehabbers, or at least learn what does it look like if I were to work with investors instead of only traditional buyers and sellers, which that's where 99% of agents fall. So
Right.
I'm teaching them, and I want to kind of give them a glimpse into, hey, here's what that could look like. If you're an agent considering working with investors, this is the path and this is the benefits of that. So those are the 3 components of our library, I would say, that we've now developed and continue to add to. And then the last thing I would say is agent attraction. Many of our agents and investors now are interested in doing agent attraction. So the ones that are, we also help with that. We have scripts created, we have videos created for them, and we actually do the 3-way calls. My team and I, we do the 3-way calls on their behalf. They could be on that 3-way call, but they don't have to. And if they have someone interested in EXP, we'll answer all the questions, not them, because they're newer. They probably don't know all the benefits of EXP. So we take all of that burden upon ourselves to really maximize the opportunity for them and ourselves, and really create a win-win across the board.
And you're help building their organization. It's
That's right.
The byproduct of, welcome to Fortune Builders and EXP.
That's right.
So,
Yep.
Now, how do you communicate with thousands of people? How do you communicate, and what's your message to them? I know you have people coming into your organization every day. They're starting from ground zero all the way up to people that have 1,000 people in their organizations and are doing tens of millions of dollars in investment. So
so the biggest thing that my partner Than does is, like I said, he has a relationship with his community. Okay, so when Than sends an email, which that was really our only avenue of communicating virtually because of COVID over the last 1.5 years, we did webinars. So every time he would send an email to his list, he would get hundreds of people registering for the webinar, and we would discuss this EXP opportunity and how it relates to them as an investor and what are the benefits of it. And every month we would rinse and repeat the same webinar, and that's how we started onboarding that many agents. Now we started doing live events because things are opening up. So we just did one in Orlando, for example. And
I was talking to you while you were there.
Yes, we had 450 of our students there. So guess what? I had a booth. I had an EXP booth. We did a presentation at lunchtime about the EXP opportunity. And then if anyone was interested, they came to the booth, and we literally set up appointments with them right there on the spot and answered their questions that I would normally do over the phone for the last 1.5 years.
Take them to your little side booth and have the sit down with them. So you have enormous potential, because you have 75% of your base is in the process of getting licensed or isn't licensed yet. On the road to 100,000 agents at EXP, you guys are a huge part of that. We sign up 174 people every day at EXP, 15 people an hour.
Phenomenal.
And you guys are huge. In Orlando, I was looking at his numbers. He's bringing 150 people every single month. On the road to 100,000 agents, where do you see the opportunity for large organizations that haven't joined? How are we going to get the word out? How are we going to identify that?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to come from us. I mean, like I said, like when we joined, we were one of the first ones kind of figuring it out with you guys.
You were the footprint for large organizations.
Yeah, and it was fun, and I loved kind of doing that with you guys, and working with your staff, and everybody was lovely, even though we knew, hey, there's going to be some bumps on the road, right? But we all knew, like, hey, this could be something awesome, not only for us but also for EXP. It's really a win-win. So now, since we've joined, I have seen several nice large organizations joining, and I really think that's what it will take, doing these type of events like you guys are doing right now, getting the word out. Because I really, like, I was in Orlando. From Orlando, I went to Tampa Bay to a real estate mastermind with other real estate educators like fortune builders.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them don't even know of EXP and how it can even apply to their community the way we're doing it. So it's interesting. There was a number of that know, and there was a number of them that were already at EXP, but large number, they had no idea. So when I explained it to them, they were like, wait a minute, I do teach investing. How does the agent stuff apply? And then I would explain to them, like, well, what do you think happens when most investors become successful? They get licensed, or they bring an agent on their team. So, and then that conversation just takes off. And then I tell them what we've done. So it really kind of, it's on us, right? As the leaders of large organizations, to get the word out, getting help from you guys, from EXP, from all the leaders like we're doing today. It's happening. Like, there is no stopping this, as we know already. And the word is
going
spreading.
to 1 million, as Brent Gove would say. We're going to 1 million.
Oh, we definitely are. And large organizations are going to play a huge role in that. We already are. We could see it.
Yeah, in our jumping from step to step, there's 3 major ways you can build. You can bring them in one at a time, and that you essentially do when they come into Fortune Builders, and then you kind of talk to them in groups, or you can build them up, or you can mergers and acquisitions. And I know that you're trailblazing right now. I know that you and I are still changing the model. We're still working on stuff that hasn't been tried yet. As recent as yesterday.
Yeah.
You are a trailblazer. You want to make it work for everybody. You want to build to the dream. And proud of what you're doing. What type of organization should people be looking for? You just don't stumble on Fortune Builders every day. You don't stumble on Tarek Al Musa every day. You don't stumble on Investor every day.
Yeah, I want to speak from what I know, which is the investor community is a large community, right? And when I talk about investors, I'm talking about people that buy houses, fix them, sell them. Believe it or not, that industry is massive, right? There is a reason why companies, Open Door and all these companies enter that space, okay? Because it's a huge opportunity. And we've been doing that for years, including other organizations. So that's what I personally would focus on, and that's what I would recommend, because at least I know that there's an absolute percentage of those investors licensed. I already know it for a fact, right? Now, there is other categories, right? There's the financial category as well that you could potentially focus on, where there could be agents. But if you really want to maximize the opportunity of what EXP offers and actually enhance what you're already doing for your students, right? Because when, large organizations, that's usually what that means. Like, you have some paid clients that paid you and joined your community because you have something to offer them in some type of education aspect. So if you have that and you're doing investing education, then I guarantee you, teaching them about how to leverage their license to enhance that, it's a added component to what they're already doing. You just haven't asked them how they're doing it. So that's my recommendation. You can look into many other things, but I would tell you, I think that, from just my experience, at least I can say for doing it for a year, it works. Educators in the real estate space, in the investing space, have a large percentage of us being licensed.
So what are your goals as the trainer and educator for Fortune Builders? What are your goals in the upcoming year as far as agent attraction and production?
Yeah, so, well, I have big goals. I almost want to create satellite partners now that our organization is growing, as fast as it is. My goals I see is creating partners in all major cities so I can further even maximize other new agents joining us by connecting them with a partner that's local, that's an experienced realtor, because then we can help them get more business locally, right? So I kind of have a vision of creating these satellite, virtual, let's say, offices within our community and identifying agents in our community that are experienced and then connecting the newbies with them, if that makes sense.
Wow, no, that's
So, because then it's basically allowing them, in our case, like we would allow that partner be the sponsor of those newbies, of the new licensed agents. So now they're incentivized because now we're helping them on agent attraction. But more importantly, that local investor agent from our community can also now feel like they have someone from our own network that they can lean on for the traditional help or even investing help that I can't provide in their city legally because I don't know the laws in every state as a realtor. I only know Southern California. So does that make sense?
yeah. The Fortune Builders operates in all states. Are they in every state?
And all states, including Canada, believe it or not.
Love it that they're in Canada. I mean, Canada is in huge growth mode right now. They're bringing on a couple hundred new agents every month, and I know that their whole 75% of Canadian agents are in the Ontario region. So moving to British Columbia and Alberta and all the way across to Nova Scotia, there's giant holes where the opportunity is just massive, especially for a large organization like yourselves. So you have big goals. What's your organization agent count goal coming up here for the next year?
Wow. Okay. Well, at this point, at the rate, and I think the opportunities that I have coming up, we should definitely at this point probably get to 2,000. That would be my goal by the end of 2020, and I'm talking about 2022.
Right.
Because we're basically fourth quarter. Like I think we can go much faster. I think we can accelerate our own internal growth and hit 2,000 by the end of next year.
Well, tell me, we have 1,000 people who are registered for this event. What do they need to know about identifying and attracting large organizations that Randy Zimnock can impart?
Yeah, I think the one thing to keep in mind is that if you're approaching an influencer, like my partner Than Mero as an example from Fortune Builders, they're marketers. They don't necessarily, and they're busy, right? They're busy running 7-figure, usually organizations. They're probably not going to have the time to also take the calls from the prospects, the agents themselves that are interested in what you're offering with EXP. So I would highly, highly encourage you, if you're approaching influencers, approach it from a standpoint of like, hey, we will actually do all the calls on your behalf, and anyone that decides to join will put underneath you guys, right, in the EXP ecosystem. All I need you to do, influencer, is market this opportunity. That's it. Stay in your lane, be the brand of your company, spread the message of this opportunity, and then let me do all the heavy lifting on the back end, taking all the calls, provide all the trainings, all of those things. That's how whoever brought us in, who Chris Gercio, that's how he approached us. He's like, hey, not only do I want to show you this opportunity, but I want to make sure you understand that I will do majority of the work. And that's the language you have to speak when you're approaching influencers that have large organizations already that are not taking advantage of EXP yet, is know that they're busy. So if you don't lead with that, like, hey, we'll do 99% of the work, then most likely they're not even going to pick up the phone. They're not going to listen to you because they're busy. They have other things that they're working on. So that would be my number one advice. And that's why, what I said earlier, I want to help other large organizations. So if anybody is out there thinking about joining, like, feel free, like, reach out. Like, we can literally help you onboard and create everything we're doing under your brand. And in the same way we did it for our partner, Than Mero, who's the influencer, where we really just kind of fulfill, like we do all the fulfillment with you, right? As long as you bring in the influencer, whoever that is, or if you're the influencer, let's talk and we'll fulfill, right? As long as you just present the opportunity, and we even know how to present it. So if you don't want to present it, we can present it.
You do the presentation, you do the work, they collect the money.
That's it.
You're looking for somebody who has an organization of 1,000 or more real estate licenses that isn't necessarily using it. Lenders, home inspectors, investors. I mean, the investors, that's a huge segment that really hasn't even been tapped. Your average investor. So if you're looking to bring an organization into EXP and you don't know how to present it, Randy's here. That's what he does. And he's also willing to white label his system, his method and his structure to bring your organization in and build something, much bigger than you could possibly imagine. Did you think it would get this big when you first stepped in?
Oh, I mean, I didn't, honestly, I didn't. I always, Than and I, we honestly been looking for a company like this for years. And I tell my wife all the time, like, I felt like I pressed that easy button, like the Office Depot or whatever, that like literally when we joined, that's how I felt, because I removed all of my overhead, my staff that I was in charge of for our brokerage, that I was trapped locally with. I couldn't go beyond California with. And all of a sudden, by moving, everything opened up. Every state opened up to us, and we didn't have to build it out. We didn't have to hire the staff. We didn't have to do the tracking. None of it. I was floored, to be honest. Like, I'm still like in awe. Like, and when I talk to people, they like, it sounds too good to be true. And I'm like, yes, I know, I'm living it. I still think it's too good to be true. Like, and I'm in it.
It's kind of just like Glenn when he, I saw him at the NAREP convention this weekend or last week, and he said a lot of lucky things happened for us and for him to get there. A lot of things had to fall in place, and I think that Fortune Builders it's a natural fit. Such a natural fit that I look at you, I don't see you as Fortune Builders. I look at you as an EXP trainer. You spend most of your time talking about the EXP value proposition and structure to investors, and you've probably increased the net wealth of your organizational members as well. Just like Orlando said, help 1 million people make $1 million. And
that's it. And
so in parting, what would you like to tell everybody? Tell everybody about attracting large organizations, aside from you can bring them straight to you and hit the easy button.
Yeah, I think now that we paved the way, I would say, just reach out to others that have done it before you now. If it's us, if it's the other large organizations that are going to be speaking on this platform at this event, like, don't try to figure out on your own, right? So my encouragement is to reach out to one of us that is speaking, over the next 2 days, and let us kind of paint the vision for you, so you have an understanding how these pieces come together. I think that would be my number one advice, because we had to figure it all out on our own when we started. But you don't need to. Like, we've done it. We've paved the way. Others now have too, and we can make this even that much easier for you.
Well, I appreciate your time. I know that you are very busy. I know that I'm working on other projects with you as we speak. I'm getting texts about that right now. I appreciate Fortune Builders and Randy, yourself. And since I live in the same county as you, we have to get together a lot more now that we're in real life.
Yes.
If anybody has any questions for Randy, type them into the chat box. This is being streamed live on YouTube as well. So you can type them into the chat box here, and we should be able to see them. Says one of them, is this the same as what is live in EXP World Level Up? Yes, it is. It's just a little advanced of that. They restream it to the world. So I look forward to seeing everybody. I will be talking to the agent who attracted Randy to EXP tomorrow, Chris Gercio. And I'd like to thank the Fortune Builders organization and Randy Zimnock in particular. And I look forward to seeing you all again.
Awesome. Thank you, Sean, for having me. Thanks to everybody that's watching. We appreciate you, and feel free to reach out. My name, like you have, Randy Zimnock. You can find me online, Facebook, Instagram. It's a unique name, so it's pretty easy to find.
In San Diego.
In San Diego. That's it.
Take care, guys.
Take care.